Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Well, today I want to take the Holy Stone HS720E Brushless GPS drone with EIS up now for its test flight. I did an unboxing and overview of this drone just a couple of days ago. So if you want to see everything that comes with the drone and all in the packaging and all that, just check out that video. I separated into two videos, so now we can just get straight to the flight review, because that's what most of you guys are, of course, interested in. So I'm going to grab the controller and we'll go ahead and fold the drone out here, and then we'll bind it up and everything. You do have to do a, the very first time you turn this on, you have to do a binding of the controller to the drone, which I already did. You hold the unlock button in while you power it on, the controller first, and then you'll get this little search meters going. And then as soon as you press the power button on the drone, it immediately binds. And after that, you should be fine. You shouldn't have to do that again. But if you ever would lose bind for some reason, that's the procedure how you go about doing that. So let's go ahead and unfold the drone first. So let me set my controller over to the side. And of course, you just fold out the, let's see, fold out the rear arms first. Then you can fold the front arms forward. Let's go ahead, we'll take it down and set it on the helipad, and then we need to do a compass calibration. Now, I wanted to take the drone out to the park and fly somewhere a little bit different than my neighborhood, but it's just been so wet that I can't get out in any grass anywhere without getting soaked. So I need to fly it here where I got concrete or someplace where I can stand where it's dry. So we'll just fly it here. Thankfully, there's a lot across the street and then a field, so I'm not flying over anybody's house or property. I can just fly straight out into the field, and that's actually a perfect place to fly. So let's take it down here to the helipad, and let's go ahead and fire it up. So I set it down. It's a short press to turn it on and a long press to turn the drone off. So just going to do a short press, and you'll hear the, I'll be quiet there. You may hear that. That's the ESCs. They're doing their little music on the startup. Let's go ahead and just turn on the controller. And now I've got a battery meter for both my controller and for the drone, so we know it is bound to the drone. And then at this point, we're just going to go into the app. First, you want to go into the Wi-Fi, and then you go into the app. So you just go into your Wi-Fi networks in your phone, and you want to select the one that says, it'll come up here in a moment, but it says Holy Stone EIS drone. Press connect. Sometimes your phones will warn you there's no internet connection, which is doing now. Just say that's okay. And now we're going to go into that app, which is the Ophelia Go app, and just press enter device. You may have to accept some things on Android to give you access to the storage and stuff on the phone. Just go ahead and exit out of that, and we can see we have a live feed up here now. If I do a gimbal tilt, you can see it tilt here on the screen recording that I have going here. And let's go ahead and we'll do the compass calibration. Now, it's not asking me to do one here. If it does, it will do it here on your controller. There'll be a little symbol that'll appear here, and that tells you need to do it. But I did it inside a while ago. We don't want to do a flight with a compass calibration that was done indoors. Those are probably not going to be good offsets. So to manually do that, you're going to do both sticks down and to the right, and now it beeps. And now we've got that flashing symbol. So I'm just going to set down the controller, and we're just going to turn it here and looking down. These lights doing all the green alternate, I think means now we got these alternating green. We can go straight up with it. Usually it doesn't matter if it's facing down or up. And once they go green red, yeah, there we go. We should be good to go. And the way that you know that it is successful is if that symbol disappears from the controller screen. Now I have an SD card in here, good to go. I'm using a class, well, it's higher than a class 10. It's a SanDisk Extreme 32 gig card that should be perfect for this. And we have it set at 4K at 30. You can also record 1080p at 60. I really like 60, but for this video, especially since we're demonstrating the EIS and how that works, we're going to stick with the 4K. That's going to look better than 1080p. it'll just be a bit more herky-jerky when you yaw and stuff, especially fast, because you know, you get half the frames per second of the 1080p. Okay, so now we have it all calibrated. We can take it up now and fly. Let's just see how it looks. I really, for what I've seen, this drone is pretty darn good. It looks a lot like an MJX Bugs 12. In fact, it might actually just be made by them. It's a little slightly different look. My friend Donnie, Big Drone Flyer 77, he reviewed this right when it first came out, and it was excellent. And while we're on that topic, if you know Donnie, check his channel out, but more importantly, say some prayers for the guy. He's dealing with some health problems now again, and I know he's going to pull through just fine. It's some blood clotting and stuff he's been dealing with for years. And just say a prayer for Donnie, because Donnie's just one of the nicest, best guys in the hobby. And I just hate to see him down like this. He can't make any YouTube videos right now. So let's see. I think to do it, let's see if it takes off if I press the no. So you need to unlock the props. That's probably going to be down and out or down and in. Let's see if I can figure it out here. Now let's try the unlock button. There we go. That's what it is. That's what I said in the unboxing, but the instruction manual just says it's emergency stop. Now let's go ahead and try the auto takeoff. Very nice. Now I didn't start recording video yet. I just wanted to make sure that it's stable and not toilet bowling or anything. Let's go ahead and we'll do an auto landing real quick, and then I'll start recording video. That way it makes it easier for me to sync up the video so it's not all out of whack. Nice. All right, let's go ahead. I'll try the video recording here on the controller. Let's press that quick and see, let's see if the long press starts that. And that's making it's doing a blinking, and now we have the symbols gone to recording. So we should be recording, we got a timer now. So let's go ahead and unlock the props. And go ahead and we'll just do an auto takeoff again. Of course, being a GPS drone, this bird's got altitude hold. It looks really, I mean, that's really nice. Very, very stable. Let's just yaw it around. Boy, that's a slow, butter smooth yaw. Now we are in the lowest rate. Let's see if we can go up. I imagine that yaw will increase if we increase the rates. Well, that's probably doing the LEDs. Let's do a long press. Yeah, long press goes, and you can see the yaw increase. It's just 2 rates. That's really slow right there. But if I'm going to go up to hold that down and go to the middle rate, that's to me is a little better. Now the first rate's going to be very good for filming. That really slow yaw is going to be very nice and not jumpy, but it's going to be really slow, especially when you turn around. Now let's see what kind of pitch we get here. That's in the highest rate, so that's not bad. Not sure what it's doing there. Let's go into the settings here if I can and make sure we don't have any kind of like beginner modes or some goofy stuff going on here, because it was acting very strange there. Let's go in here. Oh, and flight can't be set. Well, I'll tell you what, let's go over. Let's just land it again. Whoa, what the heck is it doing? Okay guys, you may wonder what the heck just happened there in the video. Well, as I was flying it in front of my house and I was telling it to land, the drone just got a mind of its own, took off and crashed into the driveway next door. And I don't know what happened. I was simply telling the Holy Stone HS720E to land itself. I know this drone, from what I've seen other people, have had no problems. I don't know what happened. It could have been some oddball interference. So what I've done is, this is another day, actually about a week later. I wanted to finish up reviewing this drone, give it another shot, take it somewhere else, and see if it has any issues. But I didn't feel comfortable flying it in front of my house. I typically take it over that field, but if it acted up and took off like that again and hit someone's property, house, I think everybody watching my channel would agree that would be highly irresponsible of me. I don't usually like to fly in front of my house, but I do it probably more than I should. But I can take it out over that field. So what I've done is I've come back to one of my old favorite flying spots near my old home, where I can take it over this field. If it takes off, so be it. I'm not going to hurt anything. So I want to see, was that just some weird fluke? But I didn't want to leave that video out for you guys, because it would be wrong for me to hide that from you. I don't want you to think, oh, this is a great drone, and I was just, you know, it could be that was just a fluke, but you need to be mindful that did happen to me. That was my experience. So because it did that, I'm worried it could do it again. So I don't want to put an SD card in my drone and then it flies off in those woods and I lose an expensive SanDisk Extreme micro SD card. So what I thought I'd do is, to finish this video up, I'll include the SD card footage, a little bit I had here, you guys saw at the beginning of the video. I'm just going to use a screen recording for this. It'll still let us see how good the image stabilization works. It just won't be at quite the same quality. This is only going to be in 1080p. But at least that way, if this drone would act up, I don't have a chance of losing an expensive SD card. I think you guys can all sympathize with that. So we got a screen recording going. Let's take it up here and just see how it flies. And then that way I can test the return to home if I feel comfortable with it, and maybe some of the other features. So let's go ahead and press the unlock button. Let's just go ahead and do an auto takeoff. And this is how it was when I flew it the other day. It was very stable. And the EIS, from what I saw after I took this in, works pretty decent. It's not as good as a gimbal, but I think we're going to see more and more of these drones with EIS as it becomes a better technology, more mature technology, and less expensive to be included on these drones. You're going to see that used more and more because it'll be less expensive than an actual mechanical gimbal. Okay, it looks pretty darn good. Let's tilt the camera down a little bit. Let's just kind of do a droney. Well, I kind of took off too much height. There we go. Let's just park it out there. So it's a little hard to see, but the telemetry data is blended in on the app with that field, and I can't see the distance. I'm sure it's on the controller. Yeah, we're out. Well, it says 0.047. I think that may be, we're out more than 47 feet, I think. I have it set to Imperial. You can see the EIS there. Now, the EIS may not be visible in the app preview because it's doing it on board. So we'll have to see it. I may be wrong about that. I may be showing you guys just the preview unstabilized. And if that's the case, I apologize. I just don't want to lose an SD card in this drone. You guys can see that stabilization in the original footage from earlier. Just be mindful of that. I wasn't thinking about that. The EIS is not done by your phone, of course. So you won't be seeing a stabilized image in this part of the video. I do have an SD card with me. Again, I just don't, I hate to lose a good one and then have to go buy another one. You know, I think you guys can sympathize with that. Just tilt it up. So yeah, the video you're seeing now is just gonna be as it comes right off the drone. But there is, we'll have to look and see. It's possible that it could save a stabilized version to my gallery, but I doubt it. But I will include, you know, at the beginning of this video, you guys saw the stabilized footage. And I just don't think we're gonna get any stabilization here in this. But it flies pretty nice now. I'm having no issues. I'm just gonna fly it out here a little ways. Right now the Wi-Fi is good. Just gonna park it out here about 440 feet. I'm just gonna do a return to home. So I wanted to see how accurate that is. And let's see, is it flying back? Yes, my distance is dropping. We're staying well below. There's a plane flying around here, but I'm only up 100 feet, so I'm well within my permitted height and distance. I'm not going out of range of my line of sight. And here is the drone. So far, so good. Just again, be mindful that this preview you're seeing here, a video, is probably not stabilized, and it will be off the SD card. And again, if you skip forward in this video, go back and watch that original minute or two of video before it crashed. you'll see the SD card footage. I know it's not ideal, guys, but you need, but for this being 4K, you don't want a slow memory card. I have plenty of cheapo ones I could throw in it that I wouldn't care if I lost, but then they're probably going to drop frames and the video is going to look really bad. But at least you guys can see the app preview, and you can of course see the image quality. Just you're not going to see the electronic image stabilized. That's not bad at all. That's really good. That's almost as good as the DRC that I just reviewed in terms of return to home accuracy. All right. What I think I'm going to do here is now we're just going to test a couple of smart features before we wrap up this long flight review. Again, I'm dwelling on the fact that this is not stabilized, which I didn't think about without the SD card. But again, just try to keep that in mind. That the stabilization was at the beginning of the video, and it does actually work pretty decent compared to almost anything else up to, you know, the only one I can think of better would be like the Parrot Bebops, and those had really good EIS on those even years ago. So let's go ahead and let's take it up again. I'll do a manual takeoff. A little bit faster when you give it full throttle yourself. Yeah, so far the drone's fine. Now I did just do a manual, an automatic landing. Let's try that and see if it does anything goofy, because that's when it flew off and when I told it to land on its own. Seems fine. I really have a feeling that what we experienced in the first half, or really the beginning, is maybe less than half, was some sort of a weird Wi-Fi interference in my neighborhood. Something told the drone to do something and overrode the controls, and that's why I could not control the drone. I don't think even if I hit emergency stop, I don't know if it would have worked, because it was listening to something else. Something was telling the drone to do something and overriding the controls that I would give it. Okay, let's go ahead and take it up again, and let's see if we can just test out, you know, smart features on this drone before we wrap up this video. I'm gonna tilt the camera down a little bit. Okay, over here we've got follow me, orbit mode, and headless mode. So let's try follow me. Now this, unlike the DRC that I just reviewed, this one just follows your phone. So swipe it. Let's see if it follows me. This one does not do any kind of active tracking. Okay. Yeah. It's doing a pretty good job. It's not rocking a whole bunch like some of the lower cost drones tend to do. Yep, working really well. It's keeping me within the image. It started and stopping a bit, but it has to because it can fly faster than I can walk. Okay, let's go ahead and cancel that. Okay, now we have a big noisy truck coming here. So I'm gonna fly this over here, and we'll wait till that passes because you're not gonna be able to hear me. Here he comes. There's a water sewage plant here, and these trucks, you may have seen them if you watched my channel in the past. They empty the people's septic tanks and porta potties and stuff, and they take the crap out there and they empty it. Okay, let's try one more thing here before we end it. Let's turn it around at me. Let's see how it does to do a orbit path. I imagine the settings are probably already inside of the gear icon on the. You can set like the radius of the orbit, and I'd already set that earlier to really small, so you guys can see it's doing a nice little orbit here. Yeah, you can't go in there and check that while you're flying, but it's, I think it's set to like, you know, I don't know, 15 feet or 20 feet. I mean, it looks like bigger than 10, but that's a nice orbit. So you can just orbit over, you know, a point of interest, over someone's roof if you want to inspect it, aim it down, and then tell it to go and make a circle of it. Obviously, if I wanted to orbit over me, I'd want to fly it right over my head, then initiate it, and it'll make me the center of the circle. Let's go ahead and just press that, and that'll go back in, you press it again, that cancels it. Okay guys, I mean, I think we had a fluke. I mean, it just flies fine. It isn't even the slightest hint of acting up. When I flew this drone last week and that happened, I had an inkling something weird was happening because I took it out, and even though beginner mode was on, I was less than the beginner mode distance restriction, and it did a weird, like it hit a geofence, but it shouldn't have yet. And then I had no yaw control for a moment. I didn't make a big deal out of it because I was trying to talk and I wasn't really sure what was going on. I didn't want to panic or give an alarm when it could have been something weird like beginner's mode. And then, so when it took off and on me when I was trying to land, I guess I wouldn't say it's completely unexpected because I did that a while ago, but I really think it was some strange interference. Again, this drone uses 5G Wi-Fi, and a lot of my people have that in their homes on dual band routers. So there's more interference in the neighborhood on that 5G band than there used to be even a couple of years ago. All right, guys, let's go ahead and do a, let's see if we can do what the auto landing here, which I did. Let's see if it actually works right and doesn't take off on me. And here it's gonna come on down. Okay, I mean, it just flew great. Now I wanted to show you guys here before we end the video. I know a lot of you people probably won't stick around to this part of the video, but I did replace all the props on the drone. They were scuffed after they crashed into the concrete, but they were not ruined. But I felt like it would be best to replace them because an out of balance prop, which they probably wouldn't have been, but if they were, that can introduce jello into the video, and that would be unfair to the drone because it wouldn't normally do that. Only things I can see, and it might be visible here, are some cosmetic scuffs on the body where it slid across the concrete. Otherwise, everything else is fine. There might be a small scratch in the very top of the lens here, but I think it's out of the field of view. That's it. So the drone, you know, a lot of people complain that this drone has arms are not very durable. This is a pretty good crash and arms are fine. So in my experience, the durability was fine. I don't know what caused the drone to do that the other day. But that wraps it up, guys. You can see for yourself, make your own decision. Again, base your EIS off the beginning of the video and not now when I don't think it was doing anything. If you want this drone and give it a shot, Holy Stone does have excellent customer service, as does Amazon. So if there would be a problem, there'd be no problem getting this replaced. And on top of it, no one else had these problems. So again, I think it was some fluke interference. All right, guys, if you're new to the channel, please do subscribe. Click that bell so you're notified when I upload new videos. Be sure to give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it. If you don't, give it a thumbs down. Either way, just give it something. And as always, guys, have a wonderful day.
The power of the dark side.